What's up guys, welcome back to another Bungie Mailsack breakdown. This week Deej starts it off by talking about the Fallen statue they revealed yesterday, also saying that the team behind it, or at least half of them, are actually from a company that worked on movies like Pacific Rim and Man of Steel, which is pretty awesome and probably helps explain why that statue looks amazing. The other half of the team was of course from Bungie itself. Onto the actual questions for this week, starting with this one from Darklight, who asks, will there be guns that have elemental properties? Deej answers, where there is thunder, there is lightning. Of course referring to the Thunderlord from the gameplay demo. And then he continues, pay attention to the new drawing board series, and we'll riff on that tease another time soon. So that's pretty cool. I would expect to see some interesting guns with elemental type properties coming up on the drawing board series soon. Perhaps that even implies that the Thunderlord will be one of the next ones they break down, but we'll just have to see. On to the next one, which is actually a Facebook question from John K, who asks, what happened to the Bungie podcast and will it ever return? Deej says, that's right, we took a question from Facebook, so what? Then adding that they did have to change or redact the name to protect the inquisitive. Anyways, onto the actual answer, which I believe was quoted from a really old mail sack. It says, the machine that turns conversations into downloads has been dusted off. The podcast shall return. We were waiting until we had enough to talk about to be worthy of eavesdropping. We have other pressing matters at the moment though. So that's pretty awesome that the podcast will be coming back at some point. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually listen to it back in the Halo days, but I certainly will now and I'm pretty excited for it. On to the next question from OP's mom, who says, you won't answer this, but I'm going to ask anyways. Will there be a Firefight mode or game type that is similar to Firefight? Deej says, we're not going to answer that. You're like psychic or something. What number are we thinking of? Then saying, ask us about strikes later. We'll probably dodge the question, old habits and all that. Now, if you don't remember, strikes were a type of game mode that we saw on a menu screen back on the first Vidoc in February. We had no idea what it was at the time, but now I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that it's something along the lines of Firefight. Which is obviously quite cool. I'm definitely excited to hear more about strikes in the future. On to the next one from Don't Pass Gas, who says, what is your favorite part of working in the gaming industry? There was really one that I wanted to feature, which comes from Ben, who says, shipping titles is an amazing feeling of accomplishment, no matter what your contribution. I can take Halo 3 off the shelf and give someone a guided tour of the ins and out of its development, along with plenty of juicy bugs and Easter eggs no one has discovered yet. Now I think that's pretty awesome that there's Easter eggs that we still have yet to find in Halo 3. I certainly would like to know what they are. Moving on to the next one from Garbage Eater, who asks, has anyone at Bungie become addicted to Destiny? Deej says, you won't need to consult your doctor to play Destiny. Playing Destiny has no known side effects, aside from a hyperactive imagination, enhanced problem-solving skills, and increased swagger. I just thought that one was kind of funny, definitely worth pointing out. On to the final question from Irish Freak, who asks, how do higher ranked Fallen shake hands? I mean, which arm do they use? Do they use more than one hand? What kind of secret handshakes would they have? Deej says, Ireland is pretty close to Germany. If you're a good swimmer, you could find out for yourself. Disclaimer, Bungie does not actually recommend you try to swim from the UK to continental Europe. Again, just a pretty funny one that was worth mentioning. Deej ends this week's with, there will be reasons to watch Bungie.net next week. The Mailsack will not be one of them. There will be other ways to keep in touch with Bungie. Our Twitter feed, for example, should be a good way to follow our journey. So it sounds like there's not going to be a Mailsack next week because they're going to be too busy with Gamescom, which is of course completely understandable. Then the last thing he says is, and a deeper dive on becoming a legend in the world of Destiny is coming soon. So anyways guys, that's it for this week's Mailsack breakdown. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and I'll see you in the next update.